This is an important speaker series. It brings in internationally recognized people who are speaking on issues of importance to us here in Calgary and beyond.
In today's increasingly complex and politicized world, it's becoming more and more critical to have exposure to different viewpoints for the business community, but also for students, the people who will be our leaders of tomorrow. Our partnership with the Haskayne School of Business in creating a speaker series focused on bringing distinguished, internationally renowned energy thought leaders, provocateurs, and dignitaries to Calgary is off to a fantastic start with Ernest Moniz as our very first speaker. He served as the 13th United States Secretary of Energy from 2013 to January 2017. Please join me in giving a warm Calgary welcome to our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Ernest Moniz.
Canada is obviously a very important energy player, not just here, not just in North America, but globally, from hydrocarbons to sustainable resources, innovation, clean tech, et cetera. And obviously, Calgary is the center of a lot of that energy activity and challenge here in Canada. Energy security has to be viewed not just as a national issue, but as a collective issue among allies and friends. And that's a different perspective, and one that's important, especially as the United States and Canada have had this energy revolution in terms of production of oil and gas, especially over the last decade in particular. So collective is really important, and certainly from the U.S. perspective, when we think about the energy insecurity of our friends, not Canada, but I'll say our European friends, that is an impact on our national security and is a big concern for us. So we have to look at energy in this context among all of our allies and friends. Then in terms of setting principles, it's interesting, the first principle put forward is not the traditional one, but rather the importance of flexible, transparent, competitive markets. Because in today's energy world, markets do a lot of the response to disruptions, whether they are man-made or natural disruptions. So developing markets is critical for energy security. This goes to the root of the lack of a modern definition of what we are doing about reserves and energy security. Too much of the discussion remains rooted in the oil markets of the 1970s, which in turn led to a metric of how many days of imports of oil do you have. It's not really relevant in today's world. Today we have a world of much more diversified sources. We have futures contracts, the whole contracting structure, et cetera, is quite different. So we posit that the real point is the continuing exposure to price spikes, price volatility, given the possibility of major disruptions of supply. And that's why energy independence, we talk a lot now about North American energy independence, that maybe within a few years we may be net BTU neutral. But we will remain coupled to the global markets, oil and now increasingly natural gas. Therefore, we will be exposed to global disruptions of price, which historically have had dramatically negative impacts on the economy. We need to think about more ways to utilize the carbon dioxide. We do have one way that we, the United States and Canada, are using already, and that is using the carbon dioxide for enhanced oil recovery. In fact, we collaborate again. We generate CO2 in North Dakota, and you put it underground at Weyburn to produce more oil, and that's currently, I think, a Cenovus project, and already 30 million tons of CO2 from North Dakota have gone underground at Weyburn, producing, my estimate would be about 50 million barrels of oil, and sequestering and getting the CO2 to not go into the atmosphere.
Remember, this is just the start. We're going to be doing this over and over again, and so please stay tuned. And thank you for your support of the University of Calgary and the Haskayne School of Business. Have a great day.